Welcome to another edition of the CS Podcast, where you can hear interviews with special guests such as
Dale Buchanan, Tom Waddle, Pierre Desir, Brent Berry, Ed Werder,
and many others.
Too big, too strong, too fast, too good.
So be sure to subscribe and tune in to the CS Podcast on YouTube at youtube.com/ChristianRE722.
Did you not get the memo?
That's www.youtube.com/ChristianRE722 for great interviews. Be sure to check out the CS Podcast.
You are ridiculous.
Welcome back to the CS Podcast. I'm your host, Chris Shanafel, and I am now joined by Colorado State University Pueblo Thunderwolves quarterback and 2015 NFL Draft prospect, Chris Bonner. Welcome back to the show, Chris. How's it going?
It's going good, man. Thanks for having me on here.
Hey, the pleasure's all mine, and let's go ahead and get started. Chris, you've led the Thunderwolves, which, by the way, I think Thunderwolves is probably the best team name in all of sports.
I would agree.
You've led the Thunderwolves to a 9-1 record, and you've thrown for over 2,300 yards, 21 touchdowns, and 5 interceptions. Really, overall, how do you feel this season has gone for you guys so far?
It's going great. We had a period, where we were kind of out of sync, but we've gotten on a hot streak right now, and we've had 3 big wins, actually 4 big wins, and we're looking to get this last one here on Saturday and go into the playoffs strong.
Yeah, man, sounds good. Now, I was able to catch some of the Week 5 game against Adams State, and it was a defensive showdown that you guys definitely came out victorious, 17-7. Now, Adams State has a defensive back by the name of Cariel Brooks, who I really do like. He's one of the top Division II defensive players, in my honest opinion, which leads me to my next question, and that is there any specific defensive players that you want to be aware of at all times when you're playing them, or do you think that's how you start making mistakes when you think about it too much?
Yeah, there's some guys that you hear are top caliber guys that we're playing, but really, you don't want to think about that stuff. You just want to have faith in your guys that they're going to get open and do their job no matter what. And I think we did that against Adams, and we did that. We've done that every week.
Now the next week you guys took on Fort Lewis, and the one game that you guys lost this season was to Fort Lewis, and the final score was 23-22. So it came right down to the end. I have to think that pains you to see that one in the loss column after that game. Looking back though, what were some things you guys could have done differently to secure the win?
That was a tough one. I think I guess our mental preparation all week, we were kind of, we were down at receiver. We had 2 guys out, 2 of our best receivers, and I think we didn't really get, our guys ready that needed to, that were filling in, and it showed on offense. I think defense still did a good job, but it just fact of preparation.
Mm-hmm. Chris Shanafel talking with CSU-Pueblo Thunderwolves quarterback Chris Bonner. And Chris, since then, like you said, you guys have been on a 4-game winning streak. And you guys are coming off of a blowout victory against Colorado Mesa, 52-3. This Saturday is Military Appreciation Day. It's senior day, and it's your final regular season home game. You guys host the New Mexico Highland University Cowboys, who are struggling. They're 3-7, so it'll be their final game of the season while you guys move into the Division II playoffs. What do you guys have to do to get the victory this weekend?
I don't know if you know, but it's been snowing here pretty badly all week. So we're just trying to not let that distract us. We're still going in and getting our work done. And I think bottom line, if we just come out like we've been coming out the last couple of weeks, we'll do just fine, But, we can't overlook this team because, they do have some athletes on there. We just have to go into the game ready to get the wins.
It's funny that you mentioned that because the weather, because it's actually snowing out here in Chicago as well. And Chris, I know you're a California guy. How do you react in the snow, man? Are you a fan of it?
Yeah, Yeah, I mean, I've been getting used to it because I've been out here for about 2 years now, and as long as I got my layers on and hand warmer, I can usually do just fine.
Do you think it affects your game at all?
No, I think as like I said, as long as if it's really windy, that's always hard as a quarterback. But the cold, it shouldn't really make a difference if I got a hand warmer. That's the main thing.
Well, like I mentioned earlier, this weekend is your guys' final home regular season game, excuse me. Any idea when we find out who you guys will be playing in the first round of the playoffs?
When we'll find out?
Yeah. Any idea?
Yeah, I think we find out the day after, so Sunday. I know last year that's what we did. We all came in and, they do the selections and stuff, and so we'll find out then.
All right, sounds good, man. You're going to have to keep me posted on that for sure. And last time we spoke, Chris, we talked about wide receiver Paul Browning, who had a great season last year. He brought in 59 receptions for well over 1,000 yards and 11 touchdowns. This season, Paul has missed a handful of games. How has the offense been able to click without Browning?
He's still there, on the sidelines and stuff, and that's one of his main things that he brings to his team is just his attitude and his spirit. And but we've had guys that have stepped up that really developed as players, young freshman kids, and they've learned from him and see how he comes to work and gets things done. And I think we've been just fine, but I can't wait to get him back, for playoffs.
I've been asking you, even in our last interview and this interview, I've asked you a lot of questions about you and the offense. But how about your defense, man? I mean, they've really been playing very well this season, holding opponents to only 12 points a game. How much easier does that make your job knowing that you have a reliable defense?
It makes it a lot easier, and, field position is a huge thing, and, when they're not giving up big drives, it makes it a lot easier on the offense, and as well as with them getting turnovers too, that just changes the whole momentum of the game, and it gives us a little more juice when we're going into that drive after a interception or something like that.
Right on. Now, I know this season isn't over just yet, Chris, but your future is looking bright. You're a 2015 NFL draft prospect. And I'm just wondering, does it excite you to see a small school guy like a Jimmy Garoppolo get drafted in the second round of the NFL draft, and to see fellow D2 guys like a Dustin Vaughn on the Cowboys, Jeff Janis on the Packers, and of course, John Brown, who's absolutely fantastic with the Arizona Cardinals this season? Does that excite you at all?
Definitely, man. I see stories like that, Dustin Vaughn, some other guys, and it's really exciting, and I think it just motivates me to work even harder and get ready for these playoffs, because really that's what's gonna help me is doing well in playoffs, and I'm really excited.
Hey, Chris, as always, man, it's always a pleasure speaking with you. I'm wishing you and your team nothing but the best of luck this weekend, and of course in the Division II playoffs. I'm definitely going to be keeping an eye on you guys.